Suspended African National Congress Secretary General Ace Magashule insists that only he has the right to suspend party leaders. Magashule, who was placed on suspension in May, is challenging the sanction and has now filed his responding affidavit, following those filed by his deputy, Jesse Duarte, and party president Cyril Ramaphosa. To discuss the story further, I'm joined by ANC member and political analyst Omri Magashule. Good evening, Tate Omri, and thank you so much for your time tonight. Firstly, what do you make of the arguments that are currently before the court on this matter?
Yes, I think it's a very erroneous argument. It's a wrong argument that the Secretary General Magashule is making. He does not have the right as the Secretary General to suspend the president. It's only the NEC meeting that can decide if they think that the president is the NEC meeting can decide on that, not the Secretary General alone. He does not have that authority and the right to do that. So it's very wrong, I would say.
The Secretary General goes as far as to say he believes that the president is still suspended even right now.
Yes, he's wrong. He's wrong. It's wishful thinking. I would say it's wishful thinking for him to think that he has suspended the president. The president is not suspended. And as I say, he can only be suspended by the decision of the NEC. And the Secretary General alone does not have that mandate, does not have that authority to suspend the president. So it's wishful thinking on his side. And of course, people are allowed to dream. You know, it's a pipe dreaming. You know, it's not like that. It's not going to happen. So he does not have the authority to do that. It's pipe dreaming.
The fact that this matter has ended up in the courts in the way that it has, do you think that it's going to provide the right kind of solution to the problem being faced by the ANC right now?
No, the problems of the ANC cannot be solved in the courts. The problems of the ANC will be solved internally. And because the ANC is captured internally and is captured through the electoral laws, internal electoral laws, the ANC is captured through its branch delegate conference format. And so if you want to solve ANC problems, they can only be solved internally through changing the internal electoral laws, not through the courts. The courts will not solve ANC problems. And what Ace Magashule is doing is not going to achieve much because it's just a pipe dreaming. He doesn't have the authority or the power to. It's just a pipe dream.
When you look at the future of this case, Ndate Omri, how significant do you think it's going to be for the ANC, whatever finding this court comes to?
I think it's important, this case, let it go to court. What it's going to do, it will explain the relationship between ANC internal electoral processes, internal disciplines with regard to the South African Constitution, the South African law, and because those two have to talk to each other, those two have to complement each other. You see, the ANC internal laws do not have to contradict the country's laws. So the court case will help to clarify those things, legally by the lawyers. But from where we stand as ANC members, we know that Ace Magashule does not have the authority to suspend the president. He does not have it.
Sure, but of course, of course, there are those who argue that this idea of the step-aside rule being unconstitutional, that is simply not the case because the ANC is an independent party that you join willingly, and so therefore, if you're joining it as an independent person, you should abide by its rules.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. ANC is a voluntary organization, and when you join voluntarily, and you promise to abide by its rules and constitution, and so is expected from Ace Magashule to abide by the rules and constitution of the ANC. Now, to try and take them to court, it's unheard of, and this is why I say it's a pipe dream. He's not going to win, but it's okay if he's got a lot of money to spend in the courts. it's okay, but he's not going to win because the ANC, you know, it's a body on its own, and it's got on its rules, and everybody who is inside the ANC must adhere to the constitution of the ANC and the resolutions of the ANC, because that step aside, it's a resolution of the ANC taken at a conference where Magashule was there, and he attended. And if he was not happy with the resolution, he should have contested that resolution in the conference. But he agreed and he supported that resolution and endorsed it. Now, when it's supposed to be applied to him, he says it's unconstitutional. I mean, it's ridiculous what he's doing. But he's not going to succeed.
Is he right in saying that the step-aside rule, particularly because it's triggered by criminal charges, could have unintended consequences in that people may have baseless charges brought against them in the interest of seeing them step aside, and then you find a situation where politically people are hamstrung because of these charges, whereas at the end of the day there could well not be a solid case for them to answer to?
Yeah, I think the ANC doesn't operate. I understand what he's saying by that, but the ANC operates according to its internal policies, through the eye of the needle. And according to through the eye of the needle, if you are questioned, if your behavior is questionable, you know, then you are supposed to step aside until you clear your name with the Integrity Commission. Now, if he does not agree with that, he should have stated so in the conference, 2017 conference. He doesn't agree with through the eye. He doesn't agree with these resolutions. Not now when it's supposed to be implemented and he jumps and says no, he doesn't accept it. You know, what is expected from him is expected from any loyal ANC member is to follow the procedures inside the ANC, not go to the courts for such a matter, you know. And so, and I think that he's off the mark. He's not going to succeed in what he's doing.
The ANC's NEC came out very strongly when it came to this decision by the Secretary General to suspend the president. Do you think his insistence on the court upholding this so-called suspension, that is going to drive an even deeper wedge between himself and the NEC in as far as that decision around the president is concerned?
Yes, the wedge is there, you know, but the wedge must be understood in the historical context. The ANC is divided. ANC is captured by, you know, unscrupulous families, you know. So until we rescue the ANC from these unscrupulous families, all these divisions will continue, all these internal problems will continue. So it's not surprising, but it is true. The divisions are there. And the NEC, of course, is not going to be happy with what Magashule is doing. And we hope that majority of the NEC will take appropriate measures to place Magashule in his respectful place, because we cannot have this type of rogue behavior in the ANC. He's behaving unacceptably. You know, he's behaving unacceptably. It's not accepted, his behavior. So we hope that the NEC will take proper decisions around this. But we know that the NEC is divided. So we just hope that majority of them will take the proper decision.
All right, let's leave it there for tonight. Omri Magashule weighing in then on this particular court case that is unfolding.